Wilfried Zaha to Arsenal. What's happening, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So basically I've been away for a number of days. We had no Premier League and I'm reintroducing the Daily Gunners Talk. So we're on season 2 now of the Daily Gunners Talk, and the stories I will be featuring in this episode, which is episode 1 of season 2, will be Wilfried Zaha is heading to Arsenal, which is a very peculiar rumour that's floating around. Arsenal are looking at a new recruitment star to join from Dortmund, as well as the fact that Wenger has said he may not see out his remaining 1.5 years of his contract. So the first story we will be discussing, as mentioned, will be the Wilfried Zaha story, and rumours have been circulating in and around the media recently, suggesting that Arsenal will be looking at Wilfried Zaha as the potential replacement of Alexis Sanchez, and to me that's absolutely abysmal, purely because I don't think he's a sufficient replacement. We'll be losing 20 plus goals a season, and Zaha in his whole career he's made up to roughly about 280 appearances. That's including international appearances. He has not had a double figure season. Correct me if I am wrong on that one, but out of 280 appearances a total, he's only scored roughly about 36 goals, and to me that's not enough. This is a guy who's 25 years old. Of course he hasn't reached that peak age, however I don't believe he'll be a sufficient replacement for Alexis Sanchez. And I do believe Zaha suffers from stage fright. So what I mean by this is basically we saw him move to Man United not too long ago, and he spent roughly about 2 seasons there. One of the seasons I think he was on loan back at Crystal Palace, where he ended up making about 16 appearances or so. But I think he was hit by big stage fright, and he wasn't able to perform at the higher or the bigger level, if you like. Man United, no offense to anyone out there, but Man United are a huge club, and a lot is expected from their players, the same way we expect a lot from our players. And I believe he failed at that time. It may be the move came at the wrong time for him. He was not as mature as he is now, but so far this season he has made 5 appearances, and during those 5 appearances he's managed to score 2 goals. He was out with an injury, and another thing is injuries. Injuries do not favour him at all. He does pick up quite regular injuries, I should say, but so far this season all has been well. He's been one of their best players so far, as I said, scoring 2 goals within 5 appearances, which is not a bad return at all from a player who's just returned from injury. As well as the fact that last season was his best performing season, and that was for Palace, and he scored 7 goals and produced 9 assists. So he's involved in roughly about 16 goals out of a total of 35 games, which is not a bad return in my opinion, but it's not enough. It's way less than we would have actually got out of Alexis Sanchez. So fingers crossed that this rumour will be quashed and we can actually find a suitable replacement, one fans will be certainly happy with. There's a lot of talk floating around in regards to the Lyon player, Fekir, if I am pronouncing his name correctly, but we'll see how that one develops. Moving on, and the next story within this episode will be in regards to the Dortmund recruiting star by the name of Mislintat. Again, correct me if I've pronounced that name incorrectly. However, Arsenal are set to make an offer for this guy from Dortmund. He's been there for roughly about 10 years, but unfortunately he recently fell out with Tuchel, who ended up obviously leaving Dortmund. But the club obviously sided with him, and they obviously kept him on. So I'm not too sure how he would work alongside Arsene Wenger, or a manager that will come in after Arsene Wenger. But currently he's currently the director of football at Dortmund. So the owners of Dortmund, or the hierarchy I should say, do regard him highly. It seems purely because they sided with him, and he obviously got a promotion, if you like. But this guy was responsible for bringing in people like Shinji Kagawa, Lewandowski to Dortmund, Aubameyang, Matt Hummels as well. He was responsible for players like that, introducing him into the first team at Dortmund, as well as Ousmane Dembele, who ended up signing for Barcelona in the summer. So it seems as if he's got a very good track record. However, the Premier League again is a different ball game. The teams are different. In terms of Arsenal, some teams are certainly not willing, will not be willing to sell to Arsenal in some cases. So it's yet to be seen how this one will pan pan out. But again, let me know what you think in the comments below in regards to this one. And the final story within this episode will be in regards to Arsene Wenger. So we've obviously had a boring international break, and as usual, Wenger takes part or undertakes an interview with Bein Sport back in France. And within this interview, one point that I picked out, or one discussion point that was raised, was in regards to Arsene Wenger himself saying that he may not see out the remainder of his contract. I think he'll do a lot of fans a favour if he does not see the remainder of his contract. If that is the case, then we potentially have roughly about 6 months left of Mr. Wenger. But he did say that the reason why he states that is because when he signed his new 2-year contract, he said he will sit down with the board at the end of each season and discuss which direction the club is going. If they are still on the same page, then they will certainly continue to work together. So far it's been good for him. The club, or the board I should say, believe in him. Again, a lot of fans will not agree on this particular point. I myself, I am the same. I do not agree with this particular point, but fingers crossed he won't be able to see out the remainder of his contract, and we can have a fresh start at the Arsenal with a brand new manager. So as usual, guys, we'll do a quick recap on the stories that we have discussed. So the first story within this episode was in regards to Wilfried Zaha heading to Arsenal from Crystal Palace. We also discussed the Dortmund recruiting styles, currently their director of football, as well as the fact that Wenger stated that he may not see out the remainder of his contract. So as usual, do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do make sure you hit the subscribe button. So once again, guys, it's your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.